F major at a second chord. It's time. It's happening. The air conditioner might kick on and off over the course of this recording session. I'm sorry. And also, welcome to this glorious monophonic episode. Because this episode is in mono for reasons that I will not explain. Suffice it to say that it is in mono because it is. Anyway, so what am I going to talk about this week? Thanksgiving was fairly recent. You might remember my Black Friday episode. And for Thanksgiving, I was invited, to a dinner, a potluck, and I said, I'm going to make some cornbread. So I made some cornbread and I bought it. And in order to make this cornbread, I had to figure out how to make it, and I had to get a kit. Because, you had to go to cornbread, you got to get a cake pan. You got to get some mixing bowls. The first time I tried, I didn't have any mixing bowls. I used like the sort of bowls that I eat cereal out of, and it worked, but it wasn't any fun. It wasn't enjoyable at all. So I said, I'm just going to go and I'm going to buy some mixing bowls, and it's going to be a little costly. It's going to be a little pricey, but I can use those, for years. So I ask around, and my friend Hugh tells me, oh, there's a spot on, a couple blocks away. So I go, and I get a cake pan, and I get some mixing bowls. I get 2 cake pans. And it's very pleasant. It's, a nice, quiet, well-lit place, And it's just a neighborhood spot, and I appreciate that. And, I banter a little with the nice old lady across the counter, at the checkout. The nice old lady banter is one of the great pleasures of this life, I think. But I indulge in a little bit of that, and I go home, and it's good stuff, and it's useful. And I open up the paper, I think this is a week ago, and it says, this pot and pan company a couple blocks away is closing down. It's not like a bad business thing. It's like business is like suffering, but it's like the proprietor, she said to the newspaper, I'm getting on in years and I want to retire. I want to travel the world with my husband. Cook new things. And those are good and noble things. These are good, noble things to desire. And I can't begrudge that, but I can't help but be a little sad. Because I just, discovered this place, and I just come to appreciate it and to value it as a resource in case I ever needed to buy whatever the heck it is you buy at a pot and pan store. I'm not very good at this cooking business. But if I had needed something, I would have known where to go, and it would have been pleasant. There's something to be said for these small places, these small businesses. And, politicians talk about small business because, it gets people out to the polls, and you know how it is. Because people are small business owners, and if I show my support for the small business owners, they will vote for me, which is, whatever. I'm glad you support small business for whatever reason you support it, but, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about how it's the soul of our country. Because the soul of this country is something is happening to it, and I don't know what. But what I appreciate about these places is, they're just places. Because a Walmart is a Walmart. A Target is a Target. A Kroger is a Kroger. There's these giant, soulless, money-printing machines that just sort of spread tentacles all around the country, and they find ways to get into new markets, both, physical, geographical markets, and also, ways of doing business. Amazon owns Whole Foods now, so you can buy your groceries on Amazon. But heck, some of the best meals I ever had, you go to the local butcher shop, and you just get the meat that they have there because it's good, because they care. They care. It's what they do. They've been behind a counter for 10, 15, 20 years. And there's something to be said for that. There is something to be said for that. You go to a specialty store, to buy, furniture or something like that. And they know your name, and they've been selling this stuff for years, and they know all about it, and they know what... They've had customers, and they've known customers, and they can help you out. I value that sort of thing. I value that sort of person-to-person interaction. I think it's worth something, which is good because those places are usually a little more expensive, but Shoot. Go to the tiny place and, have that banter with the old timers across the counter. Because that's worth something. I've at this point, I've had these realizations recently that, I go out and I see these artists, these independent artists, and I have this strong urge to, buy something, buy a t-shirt, buy a record, buy a commission, buy a sketch or something. I don't know. I don't have to. I've already come out. I've already shown my support, with my feet, vote with your feet sort of thing. But come on. You have to support that so that other people can go and see them. You have to valorize their work somehow. So you go out and you buy a CD or whatever, and it feels good. It feels good to support something small. It feels good to help, nurture, someone's dream or someone's livelihood. I put a lot of stock in that. My great ambition in life is to make enough of an income where I can become a patron. My parents are patrons. My dad, he goes to these small businesses, these small cafes. That's just how he does it. And my mother, for a while, had, a stable of artists that she would regularly do business with. And there's something in that I find greatly appealing. Being able to, support like that, but also be conscious of one's space, of the, the emotional space one inhabits, the emotional, economic, productive, creative space that one inhabits and is adjacent to. I think that's important. I think that's important for a body to be mindful of. I want to be mindful of that, so I want to support that. So you can have these places that remain open for however long, and then eventually at the end of a rich and, storied career, the proprietor can retire and travel the world. Just a small life. Well, just working in a small zone. Yes, it's so easy just like go to these big boxes and put up with the soullessness of the thing in exchange for the convenience and the this and the that, and it's just, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about this year. That's what I'm thinking about for my future. Maybe I can make that into a New Year's resolution or something. I don't know. That's a good thought. I'm very proud of that thought. But yeah, it's Christmas time's coming up, Hanukkah time, Kwanzaa time, Boxing Day. He's giving some gifts. Go out and support a small business or something. Not because they're the soul of the American people or any of that bull roar. Because they're people. There are some fine people out there living lives and doing good. And it's worth supporting that. I think it's worth supporting that.